There's a lot of fear and strife in American politics right now, and sometimes it can feel like there's no way forward. We spoke with Senator Elizabeth Warren about how she feels in this moment and where we, as young people, as students, as people living in America, can go from here.
Hello, Pizza and Politics. I love it. And I'm so sorry that we have to do this over video, particularly because it means I don't get any pizza out of it.
Senator Warren, thank you so much for joining us for Pizza and Politics. Though unfortunately we can't quite enjoy our pizza together, rest assured there will be plenty of politics. That being said, as I enjoy my delicious slice of cheese pizza, I have to ask, how do you like your pizza?
I like my pizza light on the sauce and extra crispy. So I'm glad we're here together because this is a difficult time for our country. And I'm glad that you're staying active and participating in important discussions. So let's jump right in.
Thank you for saying that, Senator. Let's start with an update on your life. How are you and your family spending your days in quarantine?
Well, thank you for asking. Like so many people, I am deeply worried about what's happening around the country. But at the same time, personally, I feel blessed. I've got my sweetie Bruce. I've got Bailey, who's right over there. We've been walking every day. I keep my miles up. And with the COVID-19 rates so high, I haven't been flying. So Bruce and Bailey drive me back and forth from Massachusetts to DC. In fact, for a while, Bruce was driving me in for each of the votes, and Bailey would walk around on the grass outside the Capitol. He makes friends with as many people as we can. Dogs don't seem to believe in social distancing.
That sounds adorable. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, and we are really glad that you are staying safe. So with both the COVID-19 pandemic and the racial reckoning that we have seen in the past couple of months, both of them have exposed the inequities that Americans have historically faced and face today. So it really seems like our nation is, on the precipice of profound change. So how do we proceed from here? What policies, what changes to the political system or the political process do we need right now in order to actualize this better world that the protesters marching on the streets are fighting for?
We can't talk about this moment in history without addressing racial violence against Black people in our country, often at the hands of police officers. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, so many others. So many Black Americans should be alive today. Thousands and thousands of protesters, many of you are among them, are making their demands heard for real reforms that address police brutality and dismantle racial disparities in every part of our society. From housing to healthcare to education, we need to keep making our voices heard and keep pushing for change because the fight for justice is a righteous fight. I'm using every tool available to take action. I've supported bills to increase transparency and accountability in policing, to ban the use of chokeholds, to hold officers liable for denying medical care to people in custody, and to empower state and federal governments to investigate police departments with a history of discrimination. I've also called on Congress to end a judicial doctrine called qualified immunity, which makes it really hard to hold law enforcement officers accountable. I'm committed to pushing those policies forward, but let's be clear, racial injustice is not just about our criminal justice system. We need to root out racial disparities in every part of our society. And I'm fighting hard in Washington to make those changes. I also want to be really thoughtful about the responsibility that I and others have as white Americans in this moment. We need to ask ourselves what we are doing proactively every day to dismantle systemic racism in our communities, in our workplaces, in our circles of influence. It is not enough just to stand as an ally. We must go further and be anti-racist.
Thank you, Senator Warren. We really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to answer our questions. So conversely, why do you think it's important for students with their own busy schedules to get informed and involved in the political process?
Here's the deal. You are the future of America, an America that reflects our best values. Our country needs you to fight for the issues you care about, those that hit right at your heart. The cost of college, criminal justice reform, gun violence prevention. Your voice matters. So don't be afraid to speak out, and don't let the fear of making a mistake stop you from fighting for what you believe in. Organize so that more people can participate in our political process. Volunteer at your local nonprofit, and remind your friends and your family members to stay engaged. Don't underestimate the power of voting. We protect our democratic values by voting for our values. I know this is a hard time for kids and for families all across this country, but it is important that we persist, and we will come out stronger than ever. So I'm so glad to be able to join you today, and I just want to say, keep up your great work.
Thank you, Senator Warren, for joining us today. To all the students out there, it's a scary world right now. As young people especially, it's easy to feel like it's impossible to enact change amidst the barrage of news and tragedy.
But it's important to stay involved. As the senator says, it is a righteous fight. Keep marching in the streets. Vote in your local elections. And if you can't vote yet, contact your elected officials about issues that you care about.
And whenever you're feeling particularly down, grab a slice of pizza.